Welcome to the ONETRIBE Podcast, and we're back. We're in the beautiful Raw Coffee Company, Alcoos, our new home for podcasts. So they've been great to host us and let us do our thing up here while everyone's downstairs enjoying their coffee, etc. And let's get stuck into this one. Let me introduce my guests, to my right, Mr. Jason Grima and Mr. Ty.
What's up, guys?
Cubic.
Come on.
Cubic. I asked you the other day. I knew I'd fuck this one up. Sorry, bro. Cubic. Right. So these are the boys. You've probably seen them on my Instagram, and we're going to be starting to do a bit of work together on things like platforms like this, and a little bit more on social media together. I think, power in numbers, all of us being from Australia as well, growing up back there and bringing our sort of Australian flavor to Dubai. So boys, how are you? Jason, start with you, bro. Introduce yourself, brother. Introduce yourself. But speaking to the mic as well.
What's going on? I'm, as Nigel mentioned, Jason. I'm here. I've been in Dubai 4 years, for those who don't know, originally from Brisbane in Australia. And I'm a health and fitness coach here. I have 10 years experience. It's been a great journey. Loved it in Dubai. Lots of opportunity here. A lot of like-minded coaches. So looking forward to kind of blending our knowledge and opinions and conversations with the guys here, and hopefully giving you guys a little bit of information and some different outlooks on things, and also an insight into like what we do and how we try to help our clients, and obviously just get by over here in Dubai and with its perks and difficulties and this and that. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you get some info out of today.
Nice, brother. And Mr. Ty.
What's up, guys?
Right up to the mouth, bro.
I'm probably the
yeah, exactly.
I'm probably the the esteemed gentleman of the group, the old fella.
I actually said this today. I don't want to interrupt, but I said this today. Someone was asking me about this dynamic and why I chose to like get us together. And I said 3 different ages, 3 different life experiences. Obviously, you being a little bit older than us two, I mean, like, you give a different aspect on life as well from our eyes, you know what I mean? And then this fella's the baby of the group. So, yeah. I mean, again, a different,
and also, like you said, all being Australians, but not we've all got a different background to that Australian flavor. Like you being Islander, you being Lebanese, me having the Polish, background as well. So, not only just that Australian background, but those little differences from our family life growing up as well in that country. So I'm same as Jace. Been here nearly 5 years. Health and fitness coach as well. We'll work around and with these guys. So pretty much what Jay said. We're just gonna shoot the shit, pick a topic each time we do it. And today is, as Nigel's touched on, is mental health. So we're going to go through a few things and see if we can get a few views across and maybe help the odd person. And if that does come about, then it's been totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying to the boys, like, we need to get this podcast done. I've done a few on mental health, but I think I've had a few guests about this subject. But having, again, the 3 different experiences through life. Seeing it through different eyes. Obviously, I stated this in my Instagram stories. We're not doctors. We're just telling you our stories, our versions, and being coaches that coach a lot of people in Dubai. We also hear a lot of stories, and we're not going to mention names and stuff today, but some of the stories that you hear, like, you hold them close. So
it's getting people to share.
Absolutely.
If people can see us and hear us sharing, hopefully it encourages them to do the same. That's probably one of the biggest roadblocks is getting people to actually share, talk, even ask. So
absolutely. So boys, let's kick it off anyway. So let's we've said today's podcast is on mental health, and we're going to be very broad about that today, and not narrow it down into like particular subjects. But let me start with you, Jace. You've been here 5 years, bro. Like, I'm sure the first 2 years of you coming from Brizzy, Australia, to Dubai was a bit of a shell shock, a bit of a culture shock trying to find your feet, especially being so young. How old were you when you arrived here?
When I got here, I was, let me think now. I don't usually share my age. I was 23 when I got over here.
Yeah, he looks 40, guys.
Maybe
So,
20. Actually, I might have been 22. I'm pretty sure I was 22 because I had my 21st back home. 22. Yes, I landed here when I was 23, which I have found a fair few people actually did head out here around their early 20s initially. Like some of the old school Dubai crowd that have been here for 10, 15 years all came out in their early 20s.
I was 21, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a big jump, to be fair. Like I was still living at home back in Brisbane with my family. So moving out, first time I'd actually been living out of home. I had some good friends that took me in at the time, and we kind of had a good little click. But for sure, there was challenges, obviously being abroad, away from family. I'm pretty family orientated, so I struggled not having them here as much. And I mean, then just trying to get into the swing of things with work, finding new friends, lifestyle, that kind of stuff. So it was tricky. But for sure, I think looking back, it's all part of it. I was in a long distance relationship at the time. That was a nightmare. I know a lot of people try to pull that off being out here, and it's definitely not easy.
You did as well?
Yeah.
You know, I met my wife back in Australia.
That's right. Yeah.
She was already there. She's been here for 12 years, and we did the long distance thing for nearly 12 months, and then I just bit the bullet and came over here. You know, so.
It is a rough spot. Like for me, it didn't kind of go that way. It kind of went off in separate directions, but it was like a year or two of kind of trying to figure out what direction that was, obviously work around work and that kind of thing. So yeah, it was definitely tricky, but I mean, I think you find people in a similar boat, and that's what helps you push through. And you know, there was at no stage was I in kind of, thankfully, any sort of state of a mental health concern or anything like that. It was just more so sometimes you felt like a little bit alone, a lot of pressure. But
that's still part of it.
That's part of being here, I think. Just in
general. Absolutely. I mean,
mentality as well.
Yeah, finding your feet in the first like 5 years for sure. I mean, like are you coming to 5 years now, or?
5 years will be August next year.
Okay, so
still early days.
Your first 5 years in this city is, in my opinion, you're trying to find what lane you sit in, especially as what we do for a living, because especially now in Dubai, it's such a saturated market. Every PT coach looks the same from the outside in, and that's a fair statement. But I think character-wise, there's so many different characters in this industry. You know what I mean? And as you don't need to be old in this industry. You just need to have done your time to see what's what and sort of where you place yourself and how you've grown and come full circle. But for the first 5 years in Dubai, you find friends, people leave, people come, people go. You know, you might have fallouts with people because of disagreements, money, etc. Because you're basically living out of each other's pockets in the first 5 years, you know. And I know for myself, it happened exactly that way in the first 5-6 years. I mean, after 5 years, I was left alone, and that's where my struggles started to really, like, in terms of mental health, because you go from such an up roller coaster ride is up here, especially the one I had coming into Dubai, and then everything was taken away, and my mates, you know, what I was doing in terms of like how I was making a living. So things really became a central point of being alone. And so I get criticized a lot now, especially in my last relationships with that I've had in the past, is that I'm always criticized, or have been in the past, for being a lone wolf or a lone soldier. And it's always the same thing. You don't have to walk through this life alone. And I know that's something for me that I need to also take on board, because these people who have said that aren't half wrong. I mean, I have this mentality for some fucking reason, and I think it's just being the traumas I've had. And I'm only using Dubai as a you know, subject, a test subject here, is that the traumas I've had and people I've dealt with, and I've sometimes got fucked over in, you know, certain scenarios, has made me go, right, you know what? Don't count on anybody but yourself, which can be a good and bad mentality to have, because when people get close to you, like, you're not meaning to push them away and out. It's just this, I guess it's a defense mechanism I've never known I've had, you know?
Especially if it's a compounding effect.
Yeah.
Like if you've had it and then it happens again and again, you're gonna get that discord.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get that that where you're going to become that lone wolf, so to speak,
Mm.
because each time you've tried, you're getting the same result.
Yeah.
So it's like that once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I mean, you've probably got 3 times as much more experience in the city time wise than we have.
Mm.
I mean, how long have you been in now? 12,
15 now.
15 years. It's nothing on us.
Mm.
You know.
But I don't look at the same time, like, and this is why I like to do things like this, is that I don't think you need to have, like I said it before, like time versus making the right and wrong mistakes. You can learn from people who have come before you. And that's what I feel like Dubai doesn't do, is that people don't put themselves out there enough to tell their mistakes. Like, yeah, everyone can be successful, but how the fuck did you get there? And what mistakes did you make that I can, as a young entrepreneur, avoid to make? Like, I feel like we're all left alone to just go through it alone, and then you fall off the wagon, and then people go, I told you so, it wasn't going to work. It's that kind of city, you know?
I think it's that city that if you're here, you've made it.
Yeah.
That the people don't disregard of what's happened before. Oh, you live in Dubai. Oh, you must be rich.
Yeah.
You must drive a bloody luxury car. You must, and that's not the case.
Yeah. Jay, so touching on your first 5 years, bro. So, you're newly married as well. You're newly married. So he's taken. So don't start DMing me. I know he's a good looking fella out of the 3 of us on here. But you're newly married, and like, how much of an impact did that have on you being sort of stable in this city? Because I think stability, for especially what we do as jobs, we don't have stable jobs. Like, it comes and goes, and you can have awesome months and you can have shit months. And then some of the months you go, fuck, why am I still living in Dubai? Like, should I go home? Like, I've questioned this for the last 15 fucking years living here. So tell me about like how all of that came about and what difference that made into your growing career.
Sure. So, I mean, for sure, like for someone that's extremely family orientated, it was tough at times when we couldn't get, especially, I mean, this is pre-COVID, but we were traveling more regularly. So I was trying to get home, try to see family as much as I could. I was always coming back here, glad that I was back here though. And I was always fresh and ready for new challenges. But I mean, after that 3 to 6 month time period here, it can get, rough. You have clients on and off, like you said, with PT, it's not all rainbows and sunshines. There's like days where, we're highly reliant on other people and trying to motivate them and inspire them constantly. So it can be quite drowning and tough at times. As rewarding as it is, there's always 2 sides. So you do get a little bit lonely up early. So I wouldn't go out much like at night. I wouldn't be late. Most of my other mates would be going out having drinks and stuff. I'd be trying to get to bed, get up early with my crew. So you're kind of on a bit of a different time zone. The PT life is great. Like, you get a good connection of other trainers and people coming together. But at the same time, we're with clients all day. So when it hits end of session time, everyone's off home. Everyone's got their misses or their wives or their families or their pets, etc. So then you do kind of end up like on your own a little bit. You do spend a lot of time by yourself. I mean, so since
let me just jump in there, like just to touch on that, like that's a point that a lot of people who aren't on this side of the fence don't understand this life of loneliness, and it's a big one, bro. Like, we all are the first ones to the gym. You're the last ones to leave when, like you said, your clients have already gone, and as much as we make a good group dynamic and you make the best hour for your clients, so they're vibing off the the energy. As soon as they're gone, it's done, right? And so you might be going through some shit and you're then left alone to sort of deal with it, because on the flip side of that, you're also taking a lot of your client shit on board. Like, in this job, you have to be able to read people really well. You can't just flog someone when they come to the gym and they're going through, I don't know, a marriage breakup, or they've lost someone close to them. Like, you've got to be able to read people. Not everyone is open enough to tell a stranger that, you know what I mean?
That's the key, I think, for the trainers that are more successful here, is the ones that are able to have empathy and kind of break through the layers with their clients, break the ice, get to understand them personally. I mean, I wanted to touch on this. It's a little off topic from the original question, but I think we're the first people to actually notice if somebody's going through any shit in their lives outside of the gym, because we're the ones actually probing into their lifestyle from a perspective of how's their food, how's their sleep, how's their stress management, etc. So we're almost like the front line to actually sometimes find out there's issues going on.
If you are one of those types of coaches who's really trying to get into the psyche to help your clients, you are diving into those questions. Like you said, what's your sleep like? What's going on? And if sleep's not so good, they'll tell you. And then it's like, okay, so why isn't your sleep so good? And then it could be 2 or 3 questions before it's like, oh, I'm having these issues. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, okay. It's not just, I'm not getting sleep. It's, I'm not getting sleep because of
XYZ. Yeah.
XYZ.
And you're right, because, I've had sessions. We're human. You're a human at the end of the day. And if someone wants or is telling you an issue or a problem in their life, we're listeners, right? We've got to listen. We can't just dismiss it. I know I can't just dismiss it. I'll get on with it. Who cares about your drama? Like, all right, well, I'm listening now, because they are willing to open up. And I think, like someone touched on at the start, like we've got to get people doing this, because this is the first breakthrough of mental health. If you don't talk about your shit builds up, and then it's it's a time bomb.
And what I'm finding at the moment with a lot of people is that is becoming a little bit more common, that people are accepting of saying, hey, I'm letting everybody know I've got these issues. Right? I'm dealing with anxiety, or I'm dealing with depression, but it's not to anyone in particular.
Yeah.
It might just be, okay, I'm putting it out there, but they're not. That's one step, which is good, because it's that understanding and that acceptance and realizing, okay, I've got anxiety, or I've got depression, and I'm happy to tell people, but I'm just not at that stage where I want to go and ask for help, or seek out that next step.
No, absolutely.
You can it seems a lot more common these days that people are happy to put on their Instagram stories or whatever that, anxiety's got me today, and it's like, okay, but what are you doing about it?
What are you doing about it?
Are you taking that next step? If this is a continuous thing and it's really getting you, and you can accept that you've got it, what are you doing next?
You know what? Like, funny you said that. So, World Mental Health Day was on Monday or Sunday or whatever it was, and obviously, I said this in the post that to promote this, was that this topic needs more than a day. We can't just dismiss it and go, I came around every year and we'll make a post of it. And
it's not Halloween. Yeah,
exactly. So the fact and the fad is that people are using their Instagram. I fucking saw it from about 10 or 11 people here. And I don't want to pick on the females, but it was female based, where they'll put up a photo of them looking, mint in this photo, and then like this mental health spiel underneath it. Like, feeling good about yourself is great. And, coming from a place where you weren't and now you look awesome is another thing, right?
Yeah, but you got to take the both sides with it.
Yeah.
Today, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
And I want you to, and some people will do the opposite too. They're happy to say, I don't feel real well today, or I'm struggling today, but they sort of don't want to put it out there too that I'm having a great day today.
Yeah,
you got to take the good with the bad.
It's a funny one, man, because I feel like people are now using it in 2021 as a way to draw more attention on themselves. In my opinion, Instagram and Facebook and social media in general is what's destroying a lot of people. Where people are having to compare themselves to others and other lives and shit like that. Like, Facebook went down last week or whatever it was. Does anyone use Facebook out here? Like,
I only use it to keep in touch with people back home.
Yeah.
I don't use it as much as Instagram.
Yeah.
But the shit hit the fan.
I still on MSN.
Yeah, right.
Bloody MySpace.
So the shit hit the fan last week, and someone told me about it in the gym. I had no clue, and I was like, it's almost a fucking good thing that, imagine it all went away for a week.
But the other good thing too that came out of that was the amount of people that I saw say, this should happen once a week. This shouldn't be a bad thing. This should happen all the time.
Yeah.
Which is also good to see. There's that side of people too that understand that social media does fuck with your head.
Yeah.
And we need to at least have one day a week where we can just bin it.
Like, I think what I've tried to do with clients in the past is, like, basically the stresses of society particularly let's talk about Dubai in general, is huge. Like everyone's wanting to have this and look like this and be perceived as doing this or successful at this. So there's so many pressures. A lot of the time, people wake up early and the first thing everyone will do, even in bed still, is just whip up their phone and start scrolling. And then everyone's always posting their best life. Like, yes, you'll get some people reaching out for help, etc. And being honest, that's the very few, I would say. The majority are posting their best life, their best picture, their best physique, their best this and that. And quite often, even subconsciously, we are comparing ourselves to them in some way or the other. Like I've done it before. Someone's launched a successful business. They're looking busy in the gym. I'm like, wow, that's great. You must be doing great. I need to focus on me more. I'm not hitting my targets. I need to do better and better. And that's sometimes how a lot of us actually starting our days, in a state where we're not actually focusing on us. We're just comparing ourselves, maybe even a tad jealous or envious of other people. It's not really the right way. So I've tried to encourage clients and even myself, and it's hard to try and not touch IG, not touch any social platform until like 9 a.m. Get up, have a coffee, do some meditation, do a stretch, whatever suits you, whatever's the right way for you to start the day. But just go through a checklist of what's important for you for the day and go out and do that. And don't get lost in that whole social media head spin first thing in the morning. It honestly will set you up for a really unpredictable day sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever pops up will just dictate your mood then and there.
I've actually probably in the last couple of weeks, I've put a timer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Timer's up. Even if it's a case of, I know I'm going to go back to it later, but there's that conscious reminder that, dude, you've done your time for the day. You got other shit to do.
Yeah.
You know?
You can get,
and I mean, we all use social media mainly for work. Some of us use it for work and personal. When it comes to us, I try to keep it more work and with a sprinkle of personal. You guys, you're probably a bit more personal, probably half and half. Same with you. But yeah, it's that got other shit to do than be on this.
I mean, to be fair, like I don't know how mine hasn't been shadow banned and blocked, my personal Instagram, to be fair. But I took 2 trips this year in summer, and both of them, my phone was disconnected.
But even for you, those 2 trips you took, you still posted, but not as
no,
picture, not as prevalent.
No, bro. And you know what? Like I saw
you do one set of squats in the gym in Spain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it wasn't any, but I got a heap of content just because that's memories for me, right? But I think I'm good like that too. Like I can live in the moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I'm somewhere, I'll live in the moment with the people I'm with and enjoy it for that time. You know what I mean? I need to, like, I get, again, I've had it in the past, criticized for why aren't certain people on my social media and stuff. I've always been a private person, bro. Anyone who knows me, like my life is very private. I enjoy the company that I'm with at the time. I don't need to put it on social media to have that proof. Like I know my shit. I know what's going on around me, and just enjoy it for what it is. Because at the end of the day, that's all you got, right? Memories. I don't need to how many times do you scroll down to the bottom of your Instagram and go, oh, that was a great memory? I've never done it. You know what I mean? Unless I'm looking for old work photos and comparisons and stuff, I don't do it. And it's a fucking waste of time. But it's an ego thing. So you touched on it just then, bro, like comparisons, and us comparing ourselves as humans. Now I'll be the first one, and it's up to you boys if you're comfortable to talk about it. I went through this in my 20s in Dubai as well, late 20s. I've spoke about it on other podcasts. I think my first podcast was about steroid use. And when I say steroid use, it's not TRT when I'm close to 40. It's not knowing what the fuck I was doing, putting anything and everything into me, but doing it for the reason because I thought that's what an industry around me wanted and needed. And I needed to look like this to have a successful business and platform. I need to be jacked. I need to look like this because everybody around me looks like that. So, I'd been there, I've done that. I realized after I came out of it, you grow. Listen, I'm not gonna shit can that whole experience. It was an experience that I had that made me closer to myself and realize who I was. I needed to grow out that experience. So I'm not going to sit here because it's happening around us. We see it every day. We see these 20-year-old somethings, strong as, look amazing. But matter of fact is, if they're not guided or someone's not looking out for them, they're going to fall off the wagon. Like they fucking will, bro. Like it happens.
And not only that, it's like, are they happy?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like that's the perception that people like is, oh, he must be doing great in life. You know, these people going, these dudes are like, I had a friend the other day who was thinking about, you know, get some coaching done. And, you know, he was another one that reached out and said, oh, I've been struggling, but I've been getting help. It's like, okay, good. And he's like, I'm you know, I want to start the gym, but I'm a bit like apprehensive and worried about. I said, mate, no one cares. Just go in and do it for yourself. You'll be there 2-3 weeks and you won't give a shit. I said, you think the Jack dude who looks awesome, who you go, wow, this guy's strong and looks awesome. I said, he's probably got more problems going on than you have. He's probably dealing with eating disorders, probably dealing with narcissism. You don't know what these people are dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
They look like they got it, but they don't.
I mean, I was literally that person. Like I would say back in 2018, I was probably in the best physical shape I'd been most of my life. During that time, I did try a few illicit substances or two. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty open about that. And
there's no reason why you shouldn't be, bro.
No. I think in the industry, it's quite, a lot of people tend to not touch on this topic. You'll have a lot of people, and this is what I realized. I always kind of idolized certain physique and I trained and I could only get to a certain level. And then I realized that to a degree, case by case, it's not the same case for everyone, but I did have to tap into a slightly different avenue to actually get the physique that I'd always pictured and dreamed of. It came at a massive price. So for me, had the most insane amount of mood swings. I was moody with my clients. I had a very bad relationship with food. I'd literally have times where I wasn't eating. I was not meant to be eating till the next meal, etc. So I'd go for a walk down the aisle of the supermarket, just kind of look at things that I wish I could be eating. I was ripped. I looked pretty good. I walked down the beach, felt pretty good, took a few good Instagram photos and whatnot. But ultimately, that was probably one of the most miserable times of my life. When I came off everything, I completely blew out. It took me a long time to get back into a healthy relationship with food. Since then, I've actually not been as lean, not been as jacked in a way, but actually felt great.
Happier.
My performance has improved. Happy. My mood's more predictable. I'm in more control. So, I mean, certain people out there will manage this better. If you choose that road, 100%. That's not the topic of today, but if you choose that path, it is what it is. But what we're trying to say here is that if you're out there trying to compare yourself or go down a certain road, it's not always as it seems.
No, absolutely.
So there's
not.
more to it than the picture. There's more to it than the visual. There's more to it than the transformation, that before and after that you see on IG. I think the three of us focus on those other areas with our team members. It's for us, the before and after is great, but we all address all the other external factors. And a lot of the time, again, leading back to the topic of today, is that's like, yeah, 100%. Like the results are visual, but ultimately there's so many other areers of that. And I think, we manage that now.
Now, because we're older and we see the other side of it. And like I put up a video on my Instagram last week, this week, and I was saying, are people putting in this whole fitness industry, and when people come on and want to start a fitness journey, what are you putting first? Are you putting your happiness? You want to be happy for the rest of your life, and that's why I'm starting a fitness journey. Then everything else will slot in between that, like your body composition, your weight loss, whatever, all that, that always will happen when consistency is around. But are you saying to your coach, or are you sitting down with a company and saying, I just want to be happy because I've been pretty fucking miserable for the last 10 years.
Yeah, because there's that one aspect that people miss, and we all say it, health and fitness industry, but we skip over the health part.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's, physical health, like I just want to lose weight. Well, okay, we can get you to do that. A byproduct of that is you're going to be healthier. But there's other lifestyle changes that you need to make that go in that health bracket. It's not just I'm going to be healthier when I get my results,
Yeah.
And in that health, now you've got to have that sub bracket of mental health and fitness as well. There's no point.
Oh man.
There's no point going, yeah, great, I've lost 10 kilos. And now I'm not in a good headspace. At what cost was it? You know what I mean?
Well, listen, I'll tell you a first-hand story. You know the story because it only happened fucking a couple of months ago. We lost a friend out here in Dubai. And like in Dubai, when you make friends or you make acquaintances. It's a very small place. It is a small place, and you can go missing here if you want to, or you can be like in the mix. And I had a friend of mine, a female, and mate, she had like, if from the outside in, had everything. She was a lawyer, like a high grade lawyer on big cash, had a beautiful apartment in downtown Dubai, had it all. Loved to go diving on the weekends. And then, man, like we get a phone call saying that she'd hung herself of all things, you know what I mean? And this was like 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So it takes you back and you look at this scenario and you go, what the fuck went wrong? Where did this go wrong for our friend that we didn't know? Like a few of us knew there was some issues there, and you know, it's always hindsight.
Nothing to make you go, okay, that was why.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like it's one of these things. You sit back and you go, you don't know what should you have asked a question, or you know, I don't know. It's one of these things, and that's why doing podcasts like this and talking about these experiences, you know, God rest her soul. But I wish we found out then after that, you know, there was a lot of workplace bullying happening in that industry, and
yeah.
I feel like she didn't feel worthy enough to stick around. You know, I mean, I feel bad for that scenario, and it's just a shit thing because maybe a conversation or I don't know. It's one of these things, hindsight, you look at it and you go, I don't know.
You're like, why did she reach out? Why didn't she talk?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, you can, if you know someone's dealing with something, you can, I mean, I know that I have done it myself, is said to people, hey, always here for a chat.
Yeah.
Always here for a chat.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
No.
Is that enough for people? Why aren't they reaching out for that chat that you've said? And it's like, hang on, okay. So you're saying you're still dealing with the same issues, but you haven't. I've offered that avenue, and that's fine. They may not feel like, okay, I don't think I could talk to him about it, but reach out to someone.
It's a hard one because I've been on that side of the fence. I've been on that other side of where she was, and you know, it was a matter of if I pulled it off that afternoon in my house. Listen, there's two things.
Pulled it off.
Pulled it off. Now, if I had gone through, I did go through with it, but if I wanted to actually do it, I would have, right? And where I was found in my apartment, et cetera, long story, like this is already on a podcast. I won't go through it again. But if I wanted to, I wouldn't be here anymore. And it was I think the way everything went down that evening and the afternoon, it was that I wanted to scare myself to the point, bro, it's the scariest thing you'll ever, like, I hope no one ever goes through that feeling. It is the scariest fucking thing you'll ever do. Going,
but am I going to make this decision?
Well, do I have the balls to do it? You know what I mean? It is fucked. And like, I remember sitting out there on the floor on my edge of my bed in tears going, right, the next 3 scenarios that happen here, you may not wake up. But I look back at it now after these many years and I go, I never wanted to do it. Like, otherwise I would have, bro. Like simple as that. Like simple as that. I would have not been here. So that was a wake up call. And soon as that period of my life was over and I put myself into the therapy and I got help, bro. I didn't know I was ever going to be that guy to go and sit in front of a therapist and go, yeah, I'm fucked up. I've got problems.
But now you've got probably one of the best insights at what people are going through.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You're at that precipice. Like you said, I could have.
Yeah.
And you were like just about there.
On the cusp of it, yeah.
So can you imagine what someone's going through when they decide, no, I'm going over.
Man. And every time I hear someone has done it or you don't know,
you think,
you're like, Jesus Christ, they must have been.
I was there.
Yeah, well, I was there. I was in a bad place, but to actually go and do it and you're like, fuck. Yeah. You're in the most lonely place ever, man. And that's sad because no one on earth should ever feel that alone that they've got nobody and to just reach out and say, bro, stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. And so, it leads me into the next subject is that doing podcasts like this is just a stepping stone. But, I think the 3 of us have similar personalities because I at work have heard it all from members to friends to people go through shit every day. Oh, yeah. But I also feel that once it's out, it's better out than in. Maybe I personally won't be able to do anything for this person's life, but just listening to that person and maybe pointing them in the right direction. Well, like, listen, it's not embarrassing to go and get help or go and speak to someone. Like, what are your thoughts on that? You guys are in the same space, so.
I mean, basically, I went through a situation when I was, basically, I mean, he won't mind me briefly mentioning it, but basically, I had a coach back in Oz, greatest bloke, and took me through a lot of coaching. I looked up to him. I still do. Absolute weapon. Anyway, strongest guy you ever meet, most positive, happy guy you ever meet. Anyway, obviously, as we started, our relationship and friendship started to get more deep. I realized there's a lot of other things going on. He'd actually had the experience to try to self-diagnose himself and kind of go through the steps on his own, obviously using his health and fitness background. He kind of analyzed it. Not most people don't have that luxury to try and actually understand what's going on until sometimes it's kind of a little too late. We had those discussions. All he needed from me was just to listen to him, get things off his chest. And sometimes I would just get a phone call and he would just say, don't speak, just listen. I need to unravel on a few things. And I was just there for him through that process. Now, I would never have picked from the outside there were anything going wrong. No one else would have picked anything. Literally, he would put himself before, he would put anyone before himself every day of the week, every second of the day. So what I'm getting at here is sometimes it's actually very hard to tell. I think it's hard for most people to actually have the knowledge and the courage and the understanding to actually have conversations and to let it out. That's the biggest issue here. Yeah. But I think what we need to do as friends, you know, and to look out for each other is just to try and probe on how they are a little bit deeper than just, you know, how was your weekend, etc. Sometimes your best mate, your friend you see in the gym, just ask them like in a little bit more detail how things are. I think be a bit more everybody's got something going on, whether it's serious or not. Maybe at some stage in their life it becomes more serious, but if you're always constantly just checking in, asking how they are, you're always keeping that person close, and at least they know that there is a safe space that they can come to you. Absolutely, as long as you're always asking. I think I think trying to analyze on if that person's okay or not is impossible. Can't tell.
Isn't that weird? Like asking the question, like a genuine question, like, bro, you all good? Or like, you know, sis, you how you feeling? Is that overthought now because you are scared that I don't want to be judged from the answer I'm about to give? Like, it's fucking weird that, you know, you open up to strangers more than you do to friends.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and let me like make this clear. I was the same. I didn't want to be a burden on anyone. Like my problems, and I fucking still got that stupid mentality sometimes that like, oh no, I'll just soldier on my own here because I don't want to put pressure on. Like, but something I got to, as I'm getting older, I need to start doing it more, bro, because I'm a culprit of it, massive. Like, and I think because 15 years of just, you know, plodding by through your life on your own and making things happen. If it's not me who's going to do it, who else is going to do it for you? That stupid mentality there. It's okay to ask for help, and I wish I did earlier on ask for help in certain directions, because I look at people now who doesn't matter whether it was business advice or whatever. You don't know everything, man. So there's always going to be somebody who can give you a piece of advice that will help, and, you know, you can use in your life. So I think don't be shy to ask for help, because I think everybody's just, I don't want to be judged like as a failure if I ask for help.
And I don't think it's just people that have a constant mental health issue that they're dealing with all day, every day. People go through things that happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That then still affects their mentality, their mental health. They might not have anxiety or depression or anything like that normally, but something will happen in their life and then bang, they're dropped in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And
I know someone at the moment who's just had some really bad news. Can't tell me that's not affecting their mental health. No matter how strong they are, no matter how normal they are. And it's a case of, okay, dude, you're going through this. I'm here if you need to have a chat. Don't sit at home and start thinking, get overwhelmed, because I know it's overwhelming you. You've just been told this news. You're not going to be able to just brush this off and say, oh, I'm strong, I'm cool, I'm okay. That's a kick to your mentality. You know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like someone else that we know who's dealing with something major in his life at the moment, who's done everything, who's as strong as hell, and we know he's strong, but you can't tell me it's not.
Oh, bro, like, and you know what's good about
you know,
what the guy you're talking about is he's starting to talk about it. You know what I mean? I think exactly. I spoke to him a couple of days ago, and he uses those videos as an outlet to talk about his shit. And that's what that was a bit of homework I had to do when I was seeing the therapist, and that was speaking to a camera or a video and then listen to yourself talk, man, because when you hear that poor fella talking and you're like, Jesus, now I can hear it. Okay, now I need to start working on myself. So it is a thing that you work on for the rest of your life. It comes and goes, and it's just bettering yourself for the rest of your life. But at the same time, let's swing it the other way. Not everybody has to deal with issues and mental health issue. I think, and this is what I was touching on before, I feel like in 2021, if you don't have a mental health issue, you're like, oh, do I fit in? So I better make up some shit that I went through to be a part of this movement,
I'm happy to, okay, I wouldn't say happy. I'm lucky to say I haven't had to, but the amount of people that I know, whether they're dealing with something or something major, is a lot more common than you think.
But then you become a pillar,
to a degree,
which is fine, bro. Someone's got to be the pillar of the house to keep it up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily need to go through shit in your life and I don't fit in because I didn't have a fucked up upbringing or something. That's fine, good, like that's awesome. But you can also put your 2 cents in. You can be the one that goes,
okay, I need you to let you know that I'm here. Reach out and get on it.
Absolutely.
Don't feel like you got to suffer. Like, I'm here, even if you got to do that to 3 people in your life.
Fucking oath, man. Like it's just it's a support network out there. Like, I think everybody likes to say, oh yeah, I'm here for a chat, like you said before, but like, if you feel like someone's struggling, and don't be shy to dig a little bit.
Oh, I even go to the point of just going, how's your headspace? Like, how you been in the last week? Like, what's going on in your head? Are you struggling?
Yeah.
And that might prompt enough people to just be like, oh shit, this is to the point.
Yeah.
Ooh, do I answer this or do I shy away? Hopefully it's more of, it gets them to not shy away.
No, absolutely.
Just to open up.
So the common theme here is that, you want to be able to it's back and forth. If you're going through stuff, don't be shy to express that and tell somebody about it. You're not a burden. Your problems are never a burden to someone. And if you're a good listener, be that good listener. Don't be shy to ask someone, like, what's going on. Maybe you might not get to the bottom of it, but at least by opening conversations up, they're better out than in, like I said before. So, so going to the next topic, boys, like 3 coaches in Dubai. We're coaching a lot of people, mixed groups, a lot of expats and stuff like that. So we see different dynamics, different, walks of life, etc. And in Dubai, I feel like there's not a middle ground. You've got the rich, and then you've got the sort of moderate, where I guess we all sit, you know what I mean? Like, but there's a massive gap between that. And what I've struggled with here in Dubai for the last 15 years is that gap. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess not everybody grows up like we did, where, I guess where we're lucky in Australia, like, your eyes are open to the poor, middle class, the rich, but I feel like everyone treats each other with a bit of respect around that.
I think those groups are a lot more intertwined.
Yeah.
Whereas here, there's a big, you've got them, you're either in them, and that's it. You don't deal with anybody else. Whereas in Australia, it's a lot more intertwined. You're always going to usually most of your days, you're always going to come across some element of each.
Oh, absolutely.
Group,
you know what I've started doing in sessions with, the people who are a little bit more well off, have grown up more, not silver spoon. I don't like to use that. If you've grown up with money, man, that's not your fault. Like, that's, I commend that. That's awesome. Like, great. But also giving the reality from a perspective of someone at our level, where we deal with everyone and we're like, bro, because, in Dubai, money usually sticks with money, if that makes sense. Power usually sticks with power. And there is so much more to that. Like, there's ideas, there's people who are trying to start businesses. And like, what I want to be going forward in the next, 5-10 years, however long I have left in Dubai, is be that center of community where we can have platforms that people can start up and then meet somebody with cash and then they can do business. And I just feel like Dubai, it's stick with your own kind and we'll do business like that. I feel like that's where we need to change, because we're the people that they come to, and we're training so many different diversities and cultures that we can put that together. So Jace, what's your crew's very diverse. Is that a question? Yeah, Jace, what's your mix on that?
My
bro?
crew's I've got a pretty broad range dynamics with my team that I'm lucky enough to work with. So, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that kind of on this topic to a degree is that you often see that people sacrifice their mental health and well-being to try to put cash in the bank at often a big cost to their mental health and to their personal lives, etc., etc. So what I'm getting at here is I work with a lot of people who put aside a large majority of their life to put it towards their career, climbing a ladder. Credit to them, they've all pushed quite high up in that ladder. Obviously comes up with a quite healthy paycheck, etc., a certain lifestyle. But when you actually break down the nuts and bolts of things, and I actually get to see them out of their suits in the gym clothes, them from a self-confidence perspective, from just their achievements in their personal lives, relationships, there's a lot of unfinished business and a lot of areas that they're trying to still work on. So what I'm getting at is I think a lot of people, especially in that maybe more wealthy basket or more career-driven basket, are often the ones that have often left areas of their life unfinished or not focused on enough. And I've got a big crew that are actually with me working on those other areas now at like 30, 40, 50 plus at really high points in their careers. So like money's not overly an issue, but there was a sacrifice along the way. And that might have been, not finding a partner, not starting a family, not saving a certain amount to put towards like long-term investments and retirement, etc. So I think that's a common one. I mean, a bit off topic of the question, but I mean, that's what my group tend to be in. I think that's where we come in as coaches, kind of try and break through those barriers and say, look, we are all the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're putting in the bank, we're all following having these same issues.
Yeah.
Not necessarily better off or worse off than anyone around you, if that makes sense. And I think you can often get lost in going, they pulled up in this car, they must be doing quite well. But we know 9 times out of 10, it's a rental or there's other issues going on that sometimes aren't shared with the public, if that makes sense. So that would be the summary of what my team is about. They've all been quite successful, but we're just trying to work on other areas that we have the opportunity to actually uncover with them. So
yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, same kind of thing. Like I've got a pretty diverse group of clients from different backgrounds, different careers, different age groups. So yeah, same thing. They've all got their at a place in their life where they're at different stages and doing different things. And obviously, if they've decided to invest in either their health, strength, or fitness, or whatever it is that we're working on with each individual client, it's something that's important to them because it adds some sort of value. And yeah, I've had a few say this is not only just helping me physically because I want this physical aspect. There is that mental part of the process that is a big part of why they're doing it, especially if they've tried it before and it hasn't worked out. They've attempted to either lose weight or they've attempted to do something and they haven't done it, and that screws with people's heads. What have I done wrong? What am I doing wrong? And it's not always their fault.
Yeah.
They've tried the wrong approach, or they've had the wrong coaching style or something like that, or it's just they haven't gelled with that dynamic. And when you get someone that does work really well with you, and you get those messages from people, you can tell in those messages that they're not so focused on, oh wow, I've lost 5 kilos, but it's the you can hear the happiness in that message. They put across more than, hey man, great, I've lost 5 kilos. This is great. It's like, oh, I feel really good about myself. Like I haven't felt like this before. The changes that have gone along with not only just losing 5 kilos, but everything else. That's what you want to have.
Yeah. I mean, the fitness industry and what we do, and you know, I think it's the coaching thing, floor coaching, the weight loss for me now, like after this long in the industry, is I'll take one. Yeah. Is
Still no almond milk, right?
Vanilla latte.
sorry guys. Yeah, is this like the whole coaching thing, floor coaching in the gym? Is this small for me now? Like I've honestly, there's so many. What our potential as humans is so much bigger, and I've realized as well in the last probably 5 or 6 years, I'm going to take that responsibility and be that person for the people. I'm leading from the front now. Like I couldn't. Like the fitness thing is always going to be a passion because I love to stay fit, healthy, etc. You know that, and I feel like I found a good balance in my life in between, you know, my outside life and the gym. I'm not a gym junkie. I just like to feel good, and that's where I start. The gym makes me feel good, but then, you know, I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a go-getter, and I need to make things happen, and that's where I thrive in that creative platform there. But at the same time, is that I also know now at 37, my role in life and my role on the planet while I'm here is to lead from the front and become that person for these people. Some people, you know, are a little bit lost in which direction they want to go, you know?
If you're getting into coaching, it's got to be because you want to help somebody.
Absolutely.
Not just to say, oh, I'm doing it for a job to make money. You're in the wrong. Go and do something else.
Fuck yeah, you're in the wrong.
You need to have that empathetic, sympathetic side to you to want to help people. Otherwise, you're going to struggle.
Bro, listen.
You're going to struggle.
100%.
You can tell the ones that aren't interested in helping people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look, at the end of the day, and you guys agree, disagree with me if you want, what we do is pretty easy, right? In terms of the
basic processes,
yeah.
yes.
Like,
but it doesn't mean that to be able to get it across. You can't just, look, you can write a program, you can take someone through a series of exercises, you can coach someone on the floor how to use a machine and do all that sort of stuff. But that's tiny.
That's the smallest part of the psyche behind it.
That's right. That's like getting in a car and going, okay, ignition on, seatbelt on, do your mirror. Okay, now we're pulling out in the traffic. It's what happens out in that traffic when someone cuts you off, or it rains, or your car breaks down.
Or here you go, like,
or someone hits you.
You can drive, but can you be an F1 driver?
That's right.
Two different things. And I'm not comparing us to an F1 driver, but I'm saying what we do on the base level of the PT, simplest job, right? If it was just that, and I didn't need to deal with people's bullshit and problems and take that on board and go home and think about what someone has told me and like, how can I be an impact on their life because to get them out of this rut? Then if take all that away, man, we got the easiest job. We get paid for counting and writing programs. That's a fucking piece of piss.
The way it works is we're not here to recreate the wheel. We do our study, we do the research, we've done our education. We are providing these services based on facts, research, science, experts, etc. Okay, we're not the experts in the labs doing the tests, doing the research, all the gathering information, etc. We're just translating that to the average Joe. What our job though, and what differentiates the good coaches between just a regular PT, is that we're actually adapting that information to that individual. So a lot of the time, you know, the client will say to me, "Oh, but the last trainer didn't do this, or I haven't tried that, or I just keep getting this same plan or that plan." I've got to figure out why this isn't. And I've got lots of cases where for 5 people, a similar process works. For one, it doesn't work at all. If I was to say, "Look, you're the problem," that's why it's not working. Sometimes that is the case. But what I'm trying to say, it's our job as a coach to personalize and to customize and to ask the questions.
Would you agree that
a little bit deeper?
You're like, okay, that's the case? I would say fucking 85%, 90%. That is the problem. They're the fucking problem.
For sure.
Bro.
But our job doesn't end there.
No.
Our job then goes, okay, you are the problem, but why aren't you following this? Okay. Oh, so it's something external. Oh, right. So you're at work till 10. Right. Why is that? Oh, because you don't want to go home because you're worried
take that all off the table.
Yeah.
That's the coaching part I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you don't have the gut to listen to someone's problem, saying, I've just gone through a divorce, my wife was cheating on me, and like if you're sitting numb to that and going, okay, cool, here's your program, eat, this much protein.
That goes back to the old, you just don't want it bad enough.
Yeah.
Or there's the same 24 hours in the day. No. Yeah. Okay. There's 24 hours in the day, but you got one person who goes and works 8 hours, is single, goes home to their cat and earns lots of money, compared to the dude that wants to lose weight, that's got a wife and 3 kids, who doesn't have the same 24 hours in the day, and you want them to get the same result. For sure.
You'll agree with me on this. Younger coach, like us on Gear Coach, right? That version of coaches versus now, right? A 25-year-old on Gear trying to tell you, bro, you need to get 8 hours sleep. And this is trying to tell a dad of 3 kids who works probably 13 to 16 hours a day in the office and provides for the family. Bro, you need to get 8 hours sleep and you need to hit your protein and fat targets, this, that. They're going to look at you and go, bro, get fucking real.
And that's the other thing too. You start off as a young coach, jacked. It's like you think, I'm going to get all the dudes coming to me going, dude, I want to be exactly like you. I'm going to train you like me. We're going to hang out, high five each other, bum slaps. It's going to be great. And your first client is some dude who's 40, who wants to lose 10 kilos, who, like you said, works 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, this isn't what I...
mate, it's not relatable, bro. It's not relatable. And but again...
that's what you've got to know what to do. This person has this individual lifestyle and has these things to consider, and you need to navigate everything around that.
Bro, I've sat, and it sucks because I love it, but at the same time, you take a lot on board. Like, I've had to sit with clients outside the gym and ask them, what's going on? Like, you haven't been switched on. So tell me what the fuck's going on so we can, I don't know if I can help, can't help. Especially through COVID, bro, like the whole pandemic thing fucked everyone. Like, I had people on the roster not paying me, but I would rather have them in front of me than at home overthinking their life, where it goes next. Because that's where the dramas start, right? Still come to the gym. Let's just hang out as a group, as a community, and let's get you through this. Maybe you'll meet somebody, or someone's husband or wife can get you a job part-time, whatever. Like, that was my role through that whole thing. And I know all PTs were doing the Zoom, this, just to keep their businesses together. But you remember, there was so much more than, burpees in your lounge room. You didn't do it because you wanted to, like, we're going to get you a 6-pack during COVID. No, wanker. Like, you did it because they were seeing each other on Zoom. There was that connection, that human connection, even though that we couldn't have it. But you as a coach put your hand up and said, guys, every day at 8 o'clock, let's all meet on Zoom. And, it was a 30-minute workout. Okay, it was all good, but it wasn't for that purpose. It was to get everyone seeing each other and that community. So my next question to you boys, as we sort of wrap this up, is that in the next 5-6 years, as you grow your coaching businesses and whatnot, what do you want the outcome for business to be? Like, are you solely based on performance and body composition, et cetera, or do you want to become that cornerstone and pillar of the community where you go, okay, we're training, even if it's not results based, I want to be around 365 Physique because of the vibe and the community they bring? Like, what you go forward going to next?
I think definitely for me, it's about, I did all the one-on-one stuff, and obviously moving into more semi-private coaching from August. I've had so many great responses from the people, all my clients getting together, creating a community vibe, focusing on other aspects just to training. I mean, I want to see that introduced into some more social activities, some more outdoor activities, some like weekly seminars and check-ins, and making it more of a lifestyle base. I think the other thing too is, like, without going down this road, sustainability is key. So how can we how can we create an affordable option for our team members so that they can stay with us for a long term?
Yeah.
I mean, the 365 physique is built on the fact that I want you to have a 365 day physique all year. I don't want it to be a 12-week physique and then it's gone because you can't afford to train with me anymore. You can't follow the principles, the concepts. The 365 physique is built around a 365-day physique at an affordable rate. I'm not plugging myself here, but what?
What's this, a fucking ad?
No. What I'm trying to say.
No, go on.
Instagram.
No,
go on.
We want it. For both of us, the same.
Yeah.
We want it to be something
absolutely.
where clients. We're not breaking the bank.
Yeah.
We're rocking up. They know they've got a positive environment. They've got the same
Absolutely.
members around them. It's a 12-month process. It's an everyday thing. It's part of their life.
It's a lifestyle.
That's what we want. I know we're on the same page. I know Ty's moving down that road as well.
I mean, you guys are a lot more group-based training than I am. I really love the one-on-one aspect. I like having that hour with the client, and it's just like they're the only one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well,
And that's what I want them to think too.
Niche. You're a lot more niche than me and him though. Like,
Yeah.
they're very...
I mean, that's like Michael this morning. You know, he's one of my first. Probably, I'm thinking on the way. He's probably my first client, and he's still because I've been able to add value to his day by doing what we do. He's gone away and he's gone, this is important to me, what we do together as a coaching relationship. And I feel it's that important. I need it in my life on a regular basis. Same thing as your clients. You know, it's part of their lifestyle. They like the group aspect, they like the coaching aspect. Same sort of ideal, but just maybe a different trajectory. Like he's going home thinking, my strength training is important to me, and the coaching relationship that I have is important. So I feel like I need to have this. I need to continue it in my life, and that's what I want with my clients. I want them to know that not only is it, hey, I initially come to you with, I want these results, but you want them to have that relationship that becomes the value part. It's like,
Absolutely.
hey, I'm getting my results. I've got my results, but the coaching relationship that we have, and also what it's doing for my life, whether it's my mentality, my physicality, whatever, it's important. So I'm going to invest in it.
And you know what? It's funny. Like, it's not funny. I think a lot of people that come in and out of this industry as coaches, they do exactly that. They come in. I know so many coaches have dipped out because things got hard. They got a job with someone, and then all of a sudden I want to become a PT again. Let's just touch on that before we wrap up. This is not a lifestyle to come in and out of. It's passion that drives us. I made fuck all money in my first 5-6 years doing this because I gave too much away for free, but that was also the other thing is like, for me, fitness in theory should be free. Like if I want to help you, it should be free, bro. But I understand now the business side of it too. My time is equal money, and you know, my expertise, exactly like what you were saying before, Jace. I get that part of it now, but at the same time, for me, it's also where I see this is that, you know, we want to be a pillar in that community. If people are, you know, got things going on, and, you know, fitness might not be high on their agenda. I hope one day it becomes, because I've been so passionate about this since I was younger, you know, it's just about that lifestyle, lifestyle.
The fitness aspect might be the main driver,
right?
But that, like you said, like you want that community,
man,
that
like
coaching relationship, that this is one thing that's in my life that's important, and I need to go 3 days a week, because it grounds me, or it makes me feel better, or it you know. Absolutely,
it's infectious when you've got that kind of energy coming in to work. It's infectious. We see it every day, like, and especially.
I don't know about you guys, but I got a couple of clients that they're not results driven. They don't have a specific. I don't need to lose weight. I don't need to get stronger. They're happy.
They're just
with
happy
what they're
being.
at. They're happy with the training.
Yeah.
they're happy with that. No, I got to go because I got to train.
But this comes back to they're happy feeling good, bro.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
Right? They don't care about a fucking PR squad or this, that, the other. And that matters to some people. For some people, it doesn't. I like coming into the gym, starting my day like this and going, feeling positive.
Going hard,
great.
having a good session.
Great.
It's important to me to do.
Yeah. And I think, this is where like the three of us have those different dynamics is that, once upon a time, I was that results only trainer. You need to fucking be at this, had the calipers out and fuck, none of that shit matters to me anymore because I know it doesn't in hindsight, it doesn't matter to the end result, bro. If you're 50 plus and you're feeling good, and you're happy with the way you look, then who am I to tell you that your body composition's shit? Like,
and if you're smart about it and you want specific result, you need to find a specific coach for that.
Exactly.
You go into, someone come to you and said, I want to compete on stage and I need to be, as a male, I need to be sub 7% body fat.
I just feel
bro. I need help with my nutrition. And you're going to go, dude, I'm not.
This. Pay me first, and then
I'm not the guy.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like exactly, and that's another thing I think a lot of coaches.
Could you imagine going through the 6 months and him going, I'm still like 13% body fat.
Absolutely.
I look like I'm not going to get on stage in the next 3 weeks.
You need You're not going to go. You're not going to take your fucking Bentley to the Enoch around the corner where they don't. Like they'll change the oil. Sure, they'll probably ruin the car as well. So this is the thing. Going forward, if you're watching this, if you're still listening after this long, like make sure you pick the right coach for your goals. Like there's a lot of coaches out there. People will sell packages, because they can sell ice to the Eskimos. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to get along with your coach on a personal level. And we're not for, like, the three of us have different personalities on that floor. Like I'm not for everybody. I fuck around a lot on the floor but I have fun doing what I'm doing. When I'm serious, I'm serious. I get angry because people don't push their potential. I see potential in everyone, and I also see what they're capable of. And it pisses me off when people come in and don't push that potential. Don't waste your life not finding your potential. You know what I mean? So, and again, two other personalities sitting next to me, totally different guys, and that's why we train the different dynamics that we do. Let's wrap it up. Ty, tell them about your business, bro. Plug your business.
So on Instagram, Epitome Fitness and Coaching. Basically, my mission statement is I'll help you unleash your inner superhero with strength training and nutrition for a stronger, leaner, happier you. If you want any help, just if you want to ask any questions, just fire away, send me a DM. Even if it's just something you want to know a bit of information, you got some questions, happy to answer anything. If you do want to come on with coaching, happy to bring you on if you think I'll be the right coach and the right fit. Let's get it on.
Jason Grima.
Cool. Mainly only on IG, really. Jason Grima, Grima. Like I said, come down. I already plugged myself today. Try the 365 physique. Basically, it's just semi-private coaching, but my main focus is to have you not only looking good but feeling good, and finding a way to manage that and keep it sustainable. That's the biggest thing for me. So,
and guys, going forward, like you're going to probably see a lot more of the three of us. My goal for this working relationship is to have all three communities become one. Not potentially the coaching aspect of it, but more building a community from the three platforms and like cross collaborating a lot of these things. People are able to, this is a problem with Dubai. I feel like, and I said this to the boys, like you'll get in a lift here in Dubai and say good morning to 4 people and no one says anything back because you're looked at like the weirdo. So we need to, like when I first moved here, Dubai was such a great expat city. You'd be able to sit like in a dynamic we're in now and start conversations with people around you, because that's what Dubai was. It was based on networking, and that's how business was done. And I think we need to get it back there, but we can only get it back there if we start doing things like this. It's not taken. There's plenty of business for everybody in this city. It's not about stealing business or taking business. And only in fact, if the boys can't fit people in, they can come and train with us, vice versa. We can give, it's about sharing this network and building these platforms together, because, you know, like I said, power in numbers, you know.
I'm going to shake it up a bit. Shake it up.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
and if anyone's got any topics they want us to cover too,
yeah,
bang them through.
Yeah. We're happy to talk about anything. I know this one went on a bit, but just touching on the whole mental health thing. You know, I think this conversation should be brought up whenever they can. Don't be shy, guys.
Out to any of us.
Yeah, reach out to any of us. You know, I think most of you know us. Our personalities are very open. I'm happy to talk to you about anything and everything. And as I said, we're not doctors. We're not like, you know, clinical. We can't give you clinical help, but we can definitely, our networks are so big and extended, we can point you in the right direction and get you the help if you need it. So don't ever feel like you're on this walk alone, you know?
And I mean, one of the most natural benefits of exercise will help with your headspace as well.
Absolutely.
So just to get in touch, just come and sit with us, do a session, move your body. And I mean, you're already on the road to being that little bit better.
Absolutely, man.
Take it
so just don't be alone. That's our biggest point to take away from today. Don't be alone. You've always got people in a city that you feel like you're sometimes alone. Don't be alone. You've got people you can reach out to and make it happen. Come and have a coffee down at Raw Coffee down in Alcuz. They'll look after you. Drop our names. Drop the One Tribe podcast. Get a free coffee. They don't know about that deal, but you can ask them. They'll probably give it to you. But thanks for listening, guys. We'll cut this one up, and that's the boys. That's me, the One Tribe podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.